It's never Tony. Only Anthony.
Only Anthony.
That's because every Anthony that you know of is a Tony.
Yes.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Glad we could all be here. Looking forward to the holiday, Christmas. That was a fantastic speech you shared. Loved it. For everyone who's been here for the last couple of weeks, you've known what I've been doing, the Great Pyramid of Personal Growth. Today we're on part 3. And the title of today's is language. Okay, this is the second side of the pyramid, and it's titled language. Now, when I'm talking about language, I'm not talking about what language you speak. I'm not talking about, Italian. I'm not talking about Spanish. I'm talking about the language that you're saying to yourself and to others. Now, language is very tricky because words are words, right? I mean, if I say hello, I could say hello to you and go, hello, or I could say, yeah, hello. 2 different meanings, but it's about how you perceive it and how you take it, right? So it's not so much the words, but it's how you perceive them and how you take them. So I was going to use Phil to do an example to show you guys something, but unfortunately he's not here, so I'm not going to be able to. If you want, you can come up. And I'm going to, okay, that's actually perfect, Roop. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Roop up, and I want you to tell me 3 reasons why you've joined Toastmasters and what you're expecting out of it. Just real quick, within 15 seconds.
Yeah, I joined Toastmasters because I want to develop my communication skills. I want to go to family events and able to talk fluently and not be afraid of hiding behind the stage. I joined Toastmasters because I also want to become part of a new family.
Okay, that was horrible.
Thank you.
No, you're not done.
Okay.
Why are you even bothering getting up here and speaking? You don't know how to speak. What's the point of you coming here? Now tell them again. Why? Tell them again. The real reason, what you just said. Reiterate it.
So 3 things I'm here, I'm in Toastmasters for is to work on my communications development skills. And I also want to be confident meeting with family and at birthday parties, give a better talk or not hide behind the stage and don't want to go up there and talk.
Now, that was fantastic.
Well,
I can see you succeeding like you could not possibly imagine. I can see you being one of the top people to come out of this group and becoming a distinguished Toastmaster.
Thank you.
Big difference, right? Now, I know that's kind of funny, and I use that a lot with the kids when I teach the kids with basketball, and I'll bring them up, and while they're talking and while they're telling me their goals and dreams, I'll tell them, tell me something that's exciting, and they're telling me something about, and I'm like walking around like, yeah, that's great, that's wonderful, and they're like, well, what are you doing? It's to make people understand that it's not the words, it's how you say them and how you interact with people that really is the power of what you're trying to accomplish in communication. Now, the reason why I use language is because language is the root of everything, all right? The way you interact with people, you have the ability with words to change the way people feel. And not only other people, but yourself more importantly, all right? You got to understand that everything you do, that's why we started the pyramid the way we did, with the awareness at the bottom, as the base, right? And then when we go into focus, okay? Now, if we don't have a base, if we're not aware of something, and we're not focusing on the right things, our language is going to follow suit, if that makes sense. So if I'm focusing on all the negativity and all the bad things that are going on in the world, my language is going to speak like that. You ever speak to someone like that where, you're like, oh, it's such a beautiful day. Yeah, well, it's going to rain tomorrow. And it's like, what does that get you? It doesn't get you anything. All it does is create more negativity. That's why negativity sells. Do you ever notice the newspapers? That's why all the newspapers, the print media, everything is all about negativity and about what's going wrong with the world. Like if you walk down the street and you see that the back of the newspaper and it says, oh, it's going to be beautiful and sunny. You're like, oh, all right, that's great. But if you see like storm of the century coming, you're like, oh my God, what's going on here? You pick it up, you want to read, because that's what we've been conditioned to do. So I guess the way to really grasp the concept is, I guess, look at it this way. When we make a mistake, when we make an error, right? Now, say you're a supervisor or you're a leader of somebody, and you make an error, and there's some errors that are going on. You're like, okay, well, they made a mistake, they made an error. How you handle it, how you interact with the person is going to change the way they not only perceive it, but the way you are able to interact with people going forward. So you can say, number 1, you know what, I think you made an error. Now, if I say that to you, Roop, I think you made an error, you'll be like, all right, well, maybe let's check it over, right? How about I tell you, you know what, I think you're mistaken. It's a little bit more intrusive, right? A little bit more like, oh, well, I'm mistaken, what do you mean? Right? And then I say, you know what, you're incorrect. with that attitude. Like, what? Who are you talking? What do you mean I'm incorrect? I busted my butt on this for 2 hours, 3 hours, right? And I say, you know what? You're wrong. Like, you're wrong. What do you mean I'm wrong? When you say tell someone they're wrong, they right immediately get up on defensive. What do you mean I'm wrong? Because everybody, no matter what you're doing, no matter what people are doing, they're trying to do the right thing. You know, I've never met a person who, even if they mess up, I don't think they tried to mess up. I mean, is that common sense? I mean, that makes sense, right? If you do something, you're trying to do it satisfactory at best. You know, at least, I mean, I should say. And you're trying to do the best you can do. So, and now if I told you like this, you tell me something that you were, and I said, you know what? You're off your rocker. That's no way that's right. You'd be like, get away from me. And then you get on the defensive. And that's where the attitudes go. And that's where the words go back and forth. So it's a matter of how you interact with people, but it starts with yourself, your internal language that you're saying with yourself. So if you're going into this, like say you're working on a big project for your company, and you're looking at it and saying, you know what? I'm never going to be able to do this. I'm overwhelmed. There's no way I'm going to be able to get this done at the deadline. You're never going to do it. Why? Because now you use the language, your focus is off, and you're starting to create a pattern, a snowball effect of all the negativity and all the reasons. Your mind is going to try to create reasons why you cannot do it. As opposed to you say, you know what? I got 2 hours. All right, let's buckle down. What am I going to do in the first 15 minutes? What am I going to do in the second 15 minutes? And then you work your way back, and you go forward, and you make little, small progress steps. And if you do that, then your mind can be like, your mind starts to find reasons why you can. And that's the power of what language is. So it's not just the language that you use when you interact with other people, although that has a great effect, and you can change people's lives by the way you speak, and the tonality and the sincerity in your voice, but you can also turn people off. But then it goes back to the perception of how you're taking things in. So it's kind of a catch-22. You know, I might be saying something to you the way I say it, and you might take it differently than I'm saying it. So it's a matter of the other person. But in this group and how we're trying to really figure things out, we're really trying to build a family here, and this is all about learning from each other and trying to get better. And no matter what people say, no matter what people do, we're going to try to improve them. Like, you know, when I'm doing evaluation, I'm not going to try to just sugarcoat things. Why? Because that's not going to help you get better. It's only going to help you just do everything. So, again, everything is about language, all right? So again, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and well, we're going to meet next year. But, you know, again, just be cognizant of your language, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. Very nice. Okay, let's have a few minutes to evaluate Anthony's speech.